Assemble.
Walt Disney once said, "We don't make movies to make money, we make money to make more movies." If that's the case, then 2025 and 2026 are definitely keeping that cycle going strong. From Final Destination 6 to The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, here are some of the top films coming your way in the next couple of years. So, let's dive in. Den of Thieves: Pantera, January 10th, 2025. Back in 2018, Den of Thieves hit theaters and pulled in $80 million thanks to Christian Gudegast's writing and direction. Now, 6 years later, we're finally getting a sequel. Gerard Butler's tough cop, Big Nick O'Brien, and O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s slick thief, Donnie Wilson, are both set to return. While the rest of the original cast, like Pablo Schreiber, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and Evan Jones, hasn't been confirmed, don't expect them to have major roles since the sequel takes place in Europe. The plot for Den of Thieves 2 Pantera has been revealed, and it's got Big Nick chasing Donnie through Europe's gritty streets. This time, Donnie's caught up in the dangerous world of diamond thieves and the Panther Mafia, all while planning a massive heist at the world's biggest diamond exchange. With the new European setting, it's going to be interesting to see how Big Nick and Donnie handle things outside of the US. Get ready for some serious action. Wolfman, January 17th, 2025. In 2020, Lee Whannell gave The Invisible Man a modern twist, and now he's set to do the same with another Universal classic, The Wolfman. Originally, the movie was supposed to star Ryan Gosling, with Derek Cianfrance directing. However, both Gosling and Cianfrance eventually stepped away from the project. Now, Whannell is teaming up with Christopher Abbott, whom you might remember from his chilling role in Poor Things. According to the official plot, Abbott will play a man whose family is being terrorized by a lethal predator. But we can't help but wonder, could the predator actually be Abbott's character himself? The film also features Julia Garner, known for Ozark and the upcoming Fantastic Four. Originally slated for an October 2024 release, the Blumhouse horror has been pushed to January 17, 2025. In the Gray, January 17, 2025. During the Lionsgate panel at CinemaCon, it was revealed that Guy Ritchie's next film, In the Gray, is set to hit theaters on January 17, 2025. Announced last year at Cannes, this action comedy marks another big project for Ritchie, who's reuniting with some of his frequent collaborators, including Jake Gyllenhaal, Henry Cavill, and Eiza Gonzalez. The film is currently in post-production and gearing up for its early 2025 release. Not much was known about In the Gray until now, but Ritchie and Cavill gave fans a sneak peek at CinemaCon. The story follows a group who operates in the middle of criminality and the law, with Cavill, Gyllenhaal, and Gonzalez teaming up to recover billions of dollars in stolen cash. Although further plot details are still unknown, it's shaping up to be classic Ritchie, full of action, larger-than-life characters, and a dose of humor. In addition to the trio of stars, the film will also feature Rosamund Pike, known for her roles in Saltburn and The Wheel of Time. While her role in the Gray is still a mystery, we do know that Gonzalez plays a top-tier negotiator, while Cavill and Gyllenhaal are extraction specialists trying to help her out of a tight spot. Cavill expressed his excitement at working with Ritchie, Gyllenhaal, and Gonzalez again, saying, "Guy creates a wonderful environment on set. It's like family. There's a freedom of friendship." Beyond In the Gray, Ritchie has several other exciting projects lined up. His World War II action comedy, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, based on a true story, will hit theaters soon. Starring Cavill as Gus March Phillips, a leader in an espionage and sabotage group formed by Winston Churchill and Ian Fleming. Ritchie is also working on The Fountain of Youth, featuring John Krasinski and Natalie Portman, with Gonzalez returning for her third consecutive film with Ritchie, alongside Domhnall Gleeson and Ariane Moayed. Mickey 17, January 31st, 2025. Bong Joon-ho made waves at the 92nd Academy Awards with Parasite, which became the first foreign-language film to win Best Picture, also snagging awards for Best International Feature, Directing, and Screenwriting. Now, film fans are eagerly anticipating his next project, Mickey 17, a sci-fi film starring Robert Pattinson, known for The Batman. Based on Edward Ashton's novel, Mickey 17 features Pattinson as an expendable clone sent to colonize an ice planet. When one clone dies, another takes over, retaining all the previous clone's memories. While plot details are still unknown, Pattinson will be joined by a stellar cast including Stephen Yeun, Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo, and Naomi Ackie. Originally slated for a March 2024 release, Mickey 17 has been pushed to January 31, 2025 due to delays caused by the 2023 Hollywood strikes. Bong needed extra time to fully realize his vision for the film. We're excited to see what he has in store, especially with Pattinson leading the cast. Captain America: Brave New World, February 14, 2025. In 2025, Sam Wilson will step into the role of Captain America on the big screen for the first time. Now, he's ready to show us his version of the first Avenger. Captain America: Brave New World is co-written by Malcolm Spellman, who ran The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and directed by Julius Ona. Described as a paranoid thriller, the film will follow Sam as he gets entangled in an international incident. He must unravel a global conspiracy before the true mastermind plunges the world into chaos. That mastermind is hinted to be Red Hulk, the angry alter ego of Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford, taking over from the late William Hurt. As the new U.S. president, Ross's transformation into Red Hulk could cause some serious issues for the government. The plot will also involve the remains of Celestial Tiamut, introducing adamantium into MCU lore. Villains will include Tim Blake Nelson returning as the brainy leader, who might activate some dangerous sleeper agents, and Giancarlo Esposito as the villainous Sidewinder, leader of the Serpent Society. Additionally, Liv Tyler will reprise her role as Betty Ross, Danny Ramirez will debut as the new Falcon, Carl Lumbly will return as Bradley, Shira Haas will play Israeli superhero Sabra, and Rosa Salazar will also make an appearance. Snow White, March 21, 2025. Disney is finally bringing its original animated classic Snow White into the live-action world. Directed by Mark Webb, who also directed The Amazing Spider-Man, and written by Greta Gerwig, known for her Barbie movie, and Aaron Cressida Wilson, which you might see in The Girl on the Train, this remake will star Rachel Zegler, known for her breakout role in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story as Snow White. The evil queen will be portrayed by Gal Gadot, bringing her iconic presence to the role. With new songs and storytelling twists in the mix, this update on Disney's groundbreaking animated film promises to be a major event. Fans will be eager to see how the classic story is reimagined with such a talented cast and creative team behind it. Thunderbolts, May 2, 2025. Thunderbolts brings together a formidable team of anti-heroes and former villains from the MCU. The film will star Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, Wyatt Russell as John Walker, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, and David Harbour as Red Hulk. They will operate under the guidance of Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Originally, Ayo Edebiri of The Bear and Stephen Yeun of Beef were cast in the film, but both have had to withdraw due to scheduling conflicts. Edebiri's role will now be portrayed by Geraldine Viswanathan, known for Miracle Workers, and Yoon's role as the rumored Sentry will be taken over by Lewis Pullman, who was recently seen in Top Gun Maverick. Superman, July 11, 2025. James Gunn's new era at DC Studios kicks off with Superman, formerly known as Superman Legacy. This film will introduce a younger Superman, with David Corenswet in the title role and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. The supporting cast includes Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen, Wendell Pierce as Perry White, and Isabel Merced as Hawkgirl. Anthony Kerrigan will play Metamorpho, Maria Gabriela Di Faria will portray Angela Spica, the engineer, Eddie Cathegi as Mr. Terrific, and Sarah Sampaio will be Eve Teschmacher. The Fantastic Four: First Steps, July 25, 2025. Marvel's Fantastic Four is getting a new lease on life in the MCU with the Fantastic Four: First Steps. Set in an alternate 1960s New York, the film will star Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and Ebon Moss-Bacharach as Ben Grimm, aka the Thing. Julia Garner will appear as the Silver Surfer, Ralph Ineson as Galactus, and Natasha Lyonne, John Malkovich, and Paul Walter Hauser will portray yet-to-be-revealed characters. Directed by Matt Shakman, who takes over from John, the first step was originally scheduled for May 2025, but will now be released on July 25, 2025. Nobody 2, August 15, 2025. Following the surprise success of Nobody, Bob Odenkirk returns to showcase his action skills in Nobody 2. The film will be directed by Timo Gianjanto, known for his intense and gory action films like The Night Comes For Us. Connie Nielsen will reprise her role as Odenkirk's wife, and Christopher Lloyd returns as his retired FBI agent father. Sharon Stone will play the main villain, while Colin Hanks is set to portray a corrupt sheriff. The script, written by Derek Kolstad, Umair Alim, Aaron Rabin, and Odenkirk himself, promises even more action-packed mayhem. Expect this high-octane sequel to hit theaters on August 15, 2025. Avatar: Fire and Ash, December 19, 2025. James Cameron's ambitious Avatar saga continues with Avatar: Fire and Ash, set to premiere during the 2025 holiday season. Cameron returns to direct, guiding a cast that includes Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, and Kate Winslet. Una Chaplin joins the cast as Varang, leader of the Ash People, a Na'vi tribe with a fiery nature. David Thewlis will also appear. While specific plot details are unknown, the film promises to delve deeper into the conflict on Pandora, continuing the epic journey of Jake Sully and his family. Final Destination 6, TBA. Death returns as the ultimate antagonist in Final Destination 6, promising to revive the franchise with a fresh twist. Originating from a spec script for The X-Files by Jeffrey Riddick, originally titled Flight 180, the Final Destination series has been known for its inventive death sequences and its portrayal of death as an inevitable, impersonal force rather than a physical killer. After a successful run, including the well-received Final Destination 5 in 2011, the franchise has been dormant but never forgotten. With Final Destination 6 now confirmed, it aims to re-energize the series. The film will feature a series of veteran Tony Todd's returning as Bloodworth, alongside new leads Breck Basinger, Tio Briones, and Caitlin Santajuana. Supporting roles will be played by Richard Harmon, Anna Lore, and Owen Patrick Joyner, Max Lloyd-Jones, Raya Kilstead, and Tin-Po Lee. Directors Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein, known for Freaks, secured their roles by famously faking their deaths during a Zoom call with studio executives. Initially penned by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan of Saw fame, the script was later taken over by Guy Busick, co-writer of Scream and Scream 6. Filming began in March 2024, and while a release date is yet to be confirmed, the film might align with the 25th anniversary of the original Final Destination in 2025. The new installment is set to deviate from the familiar formula. Jeffrey Reddick hinted that Final Destination 6 will explore new ground, focusing on first responders and emergency workers familiar with death who now find themselves facing it directly. The plot promises to shake up the established rules of the franchise, potentially linking Bloodworth's backstory to these changes. Avengers Doomsday, May 1st, 2026. At the July 2024 San Diego Comic-Con, Avengers Doomsday was officially announced as the new title for Avengers 5, shifting the focus from Kang to Doctor Doom as the primary antagonist. In a major surprise, Robert Downey Jr. will return to the MCU, not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom, marking a dramatic return for the actor. The Russo brothers, celebrated for directing Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, and Endgame, have been confirmed to direct both Avengers Doomsday and Avengers: Secret Wars. Their involvement boosts expectations, giving their track record of creating critically acclaimed and financially successful MCU films. Initially, Destin Daniel Cretton was slated to direct Avengers 5, but with the Russo brothers taking over, Cretton may helm another Marvel project instead. This shift in direction aligns with the movie's pivot from focusing on Kang to featuring Doctor Doom, likely leading to significant changes in the storyline. A June 2024 report from Deadline indicated that Avengers Doomsday could feature a cast of over 60 characters, making it one of the most ambitious MCU projects to date. This massive roster could present narrative challenges, but it also sets up the movie to potentially rival the epic scale of Avengers Endgame. Avengers Doomsday is set to be released on May 1, 2026, following a delay from its original May 2025 date. The film will likely tie directly into events of the Fantastic Four, which is set to debut in Phase 6 of the MCU, with Blade currently scheduled as the last film before Avengers Doomsday. The movie will also feature the cast of Thunderbolts, including Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova, David Harbour's Red Guardian, and Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes. Additionally, characters like Tom Hiddleston as Loki and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Namor played by Tenoch Huerta, and Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight are potential inclusions, alongside supporting characters from Wakanda and the Thunderbolts. Doctor Doom's threat will likely combine his immense power with the concept of universe-ending incursions, a key element of the multiverse saga. This could set the stage for Avengers Secret Wars, where the stakes will be even higher. As the MCU continues to explore the multiverse, Avengers Doomsday promises to be a pivotal chapter, bringing together various threads from across the franchise for an epic showdown. The Mandalorian and Grogu, May 22, 2026. Directed by Jon Favreau, this film marks the return of Star Wars to the big screen, being the first theatrical release since The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. The story will continue the adventures of Din Djarin and Grogu after the events of The Mandalorian Season 3, where the duo began working with Carson Teva and the New Republic to hunt down the remnants of the Imperial forces following Moff Gideon's defeat. Dave Filoni, who has been deeply involved in Star Wars projects for years, is confirmed as the co-writer of The Mandalorian and Grogu, in addition to serving as one of the film's executive producers. Filoni, now Lucasfilm's chief creative officer, has a rich history with the Star Wars franchise, having worked on The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Tales of the Jedi, and Tales of the Empire. His collaboration with Favreau dates back to The Clone Wars, where Favreau voiced Pre Vizsla, the darksaber-wielding leader of Death Watch. The partnership between Favreau and Filoni has been instrumental in creating the so-called Mandoverse, the interconnected stories set in the post-Return of the Jedi era. Their collaboration began in earnest with The Mandalorian, Star Wars' first live-action series, which became a global phenomenon. They continued to work closely on The Book of Boba Fett alongside Robert Rodriguez, and Filoni took the lead on Ahsoka as showrunner and writer, with Favreau still involved as an executive producer. With The Mandalorian and Grogu, Favreau and Filoni are set to continue expanding the Mandoverse, building on the rich narrative they've developed together. Filoni is also directing his own upcoming Star Wars film set in the same era, and Favreau is expected to play a significant role in that project as well. Their partnership continues to be a driving force behind some of the most exciting new stories in the Star Wars universe. Masters of the Universe, June 5, 2026. He-Man returns to the big screen in this live-action adaptation from Amazon MGM, marking the first film entry in the franchise since 1987. Rising star Nicholas Galitzine has been cast as Prince Adam He-Man, with Riverdale alum Camila Mendez playing Teela, the captain of the Royal Guard. The movie is expected to be an origin story, retelling the classic narrative of Prince Adam's transformation into He-Man and his battle against Skeletor. Fans are eager to see Eternia brought to life with modern filmmaking technology, and the nostalgia is strong for this beloved 80s franchise. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, July 26, 2026. Millie Alcock will star as Supergirl in this adaptation of Tom King's acclaimed comic series. Written by Anna Noguera, the film promises a darker and more intense portrayal of Kara Zor-El, focusing on her tragic past and her journey on Earth. James Gunn's involvement hints at a unique take on Supergirl, differing from the more traditional Superman storylines. The potential inclusion of Krypto and the exploration of Supergirl's hardships growing up on a fragment of Krypton adds layers of depth to this exciting new addition to the DC Universe. The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping TBA. Suzanne Collins returns to Panem with this new prequel novel focusing on a young Haymitch Abernathy during the 50th Hunger Games, also known as the First Quarter Quell. A movie adaptation is already in development, promising to delve deeper into Haymitch's backstory and the brutal challenges he faced, including the infamous Mutts. The story will also connect to the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, exploring the evolution of these mutts and potentially revealing the fate of Dr. Gall, the sinister architect behind many of the Capitol's deadly creations. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.